Okay, are you ready? Okay, chapter 2.
Yes.
Okay, lock in. This is not even a bad chapter. It had been a
I'm locked.
week since it had been a week since your encounter with Aaron and you still couldn't get him off your mind. When Hitch would leave for class and you had the afternoon alone in the dorm, you'd often find your hands trapped traveling down past your leggings and you would be lost in thought. Okay.
Oh.
You thought about Aaron's Aaron's warm against your core. His silky hair, the cool metal of his tongue ring against your flesh, and the tender way he kissed you as if you were more than a one-time thing. You had more of his mornings than you were proud to admit, and today was another one of them. While you had no problem bringing yourself to pleasure either, it wasn't the same kind of relief. Not the same relief that Aaron gave you. Maybe it was the freedom in letting go of your inhibitions. Maybe it was the secrecy of climaxing behind closed doors with a handsome stranger while people gathered outside, no doubt fully aware of what the two of you were up to. The thought of voyeurism never even appealed to you until you had that moment with Aaron. It felt salacious to even think about it in your day-to-day. Then again, you couldn't say you'd ever done anything like that before in your life, and a part of you was convinced that was the appeal. Maybe that was why you couldn't get Aaron Yeager off your mind. Sighing to yourself with a pleased but exhausted exhale, you removed your hands from your pants and reached for a tissue from your nightstand. As you cleaned yourself up, you decided to give yourself a pep talk. You were not about to be hung up over a guy after one encounter. The day was still early, you still had shit to do, and most importantly, you had to focus on school. That was your priority, not some guy. Who the hell left? Sorry. Who was that? I forgot. Okay, whatever. Seeing that you had finished all.
Oh, wait, rain or who? Oh, wait, okay, makes sense. Okay.
Seeing that you had finished all of your classes early for the day, you figured that you could get some studying and work done in the library. You were going to have the entire day to yourself anyway, as Hitch texted you earlier to let you know she'd be with John for the weekend. There was no sense in being cooped up in your dorm any longer than you already had been, thinking about stuff that didn't hold any weight over your life. Whatever happened with Aaron was fun, but you reassured yourself that it was only a wondrous one-time thing. You hadn't even seen him after the party, even though your eyes shamelessly looked for him everywhere. It seemed like he barely existed on campus shy of the frat house. Perhaps it was all for the best anyway. At least, that's what you told yourself out of comfort. After all, what were the odds that you were ever going to see him again? You had been tucked away in the library for what felt like hours now. When you walked in, you quickly found the quietest spot you could, looking out with a snug little alcove towards the back. It was the ideal studying spot, and you were lucky enough to have a view of the outside. There was hardly anyone on campus, being that it was a Friday, and it was pouring rain outside. The rain was strong enough that deep puddles began to form where the campus grounds had natural dips, and you watched in amusement as students jumped into them like kids. You always loved the rain. That was why you went sans headphones today, as the pitter-patters of the rain slapping against the window was the perfect soundtrack for studying and focusing. This was more you than a party, and you had to admit, it felt nice to be back in your natural Nothing could tear you away from the peace and quiet of. Speak.
Oh shoot, okay. Hey, party animal. You heard a familiar voice today.
Well, except for that. That could definitely tear you away from anything, if you're being honest. When you looked up from your lap, you saw Aaron waving at you with a smile. He was wearing a gray hoodie with jeans and sneakers today, with his hair tied back in his usual messy bun. His attire and hair were both drenched with rainwater, and it was almost unfair how cute he still looked despite that. What were the odds? Hi. You waved back, making Aaron's face stretched into a sweet grin. He strutted over to you with a confident swagger in his steps, then plopped right next to you. When he sat down next to you against the wall, he shook the rain out of his hair like a dog coming into the house after going out into the rain which made you giggle.
What's up? He asked with a cocky smile as he watched the way your eyes lingered on his face.
The question admittedly threw you off, as it was the last thing you expected him to say to you. After days of not seeing each other, Aaron was going to act as if he wasn't buried between your legs a week ago in an attempt to have a normal conversation with you. Shaking your head, you tilted your head to the side to meet his stare and pause. Not much. I was studying. You started to trail off quietly as you watched the smile on Aaron's face stretch wide. In that moment, you realized why he addressed you as party animal instead of your name at first. At the party, you defended that you did go to parties when you initially met him, but here you were, studying in the library on a damn Friday night. Damn it. Is this about us? How does it know it's Friday? I even know! Okay, that's weird. Damn him. A small laugh left Aaron's lips when he realized you caught on, but he quickly pulled himself back together. In an instant, he scooched closer to you, so much so that his thigh was a centimeter away from yours. When you didn't push him away or indicate that you were uncomfortable, Aaron then leaned over your shoulder to look at the book in your lap. You could feel his breath close to your cheeks, making you warm all over, but he was still never too close for comfort. He always seemed to toe the line of being close enough, but never crossing the line exactly. Not unless you wanted him to. You appreciated that, and that was putting it lightly. As he studied your book with intent, you noticed that his breath smelled like mints, as if he tossed an entire tin of it away into his mouth before coming here. You shuddered as you remembered the way his... okay. The way his muscle in his mouth felt cool and sweet in your mouth, the way he smelled and tasted like mint then, and you silently prayed that Aaron didn't notice the way you squeezed your... Okay, yeah, eyes together. It seemed as if he didn't, because he began reading lines aloud from your public health ethics book, not even bothering to lower the volume in his voice. This got the attention of the librarian, who glared at the two of you from above the small book cart she was organizing, but Aaron wasn't fazed. When he did catch her eye, he continued to read from your book and gave her a light wave before smiling at you again, making you laugh. What a dork. You tucked some hair behind your ear and watched as Aaron read your book with his tongue caught behind his teeth, almost as if he were trying to concentrate as hard as he could, even though you were sure he didn't know what he was reading. How could one person be so adorable? When the librarian shushed at you and Aaron again, you gave her an apologetic wave that met Aaron's gaze again once he was finished. His eyes darted to the librarian once more, and he shook his head and laughed when she stormed off with a huff.
I have no idea what I just read. What's this for?
There was genuine curiosity written all over his face, and his eyes gleamed bright as he stared at you in wait. You noticed that they lacked the redness that they had when you first met, and you had to admit that a clear, bright-eyed Aaron was even more attractive than the one who was high. Not that you minded either one. I think some public health, you said, smiling over his excitement.
Cool. Is that your major? He asked, tilting his head to the side.
Yes, it is, you laughed, still unsure of where this conversation was headed. What do you like? Oh, it's Flock. It's Flock! Where the hell is Bella?
Oh no.
Oh my god, where is Bella? Oh my god, this dumbass fell asleep. No fucking way. No shot.
Join. Tell him to join MB Aaron so I can be Flonk or whatever.
I don't think so, he just woke up.
No. I think
Oh, be Flock.
he actually?
No. Wait, okay.
Nah, bro.
That's
Don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you.
No, you have to come in clutch. Come in clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, we start from here.
yeah, Meister, bro.
The sudden interruption prompted the two of you to look up, only to see a red-headed boy standing before you.
Hey Flock, Flotch, whatever. Aaron replied back, lifting up 2 fingers to greet him in a half-hearted manner.
Dude, they're coming to my party tonight.
You watched in amusement as Aaron and his friends spoke, but not because of their conversation. You were mostly amused because of the librarian who was lurking in the corner behind Flock. See, it shouldn't have come as a surprise to you that she ran at the corner once more to spy on your section, especially because neither Aaron nor Flock cared to lower their voices. You giggled as you watched her anger bubble over, and mentally calculated when she'd lose her temper and come over again.
Yeah, bro, you missed. It was like so cool, dude. Like, I'm serious. You should really come to the one tonight. He's gonna be like real crazy, bro.
You heard Flock say as you came back from tuning him out.
I might skip this one actually.
Aaron
Aaron
shrugged.
shrugged.
Why, bro? You busy?
Out of the corner of your eye, he saw Aaron's eyes flicker over to you, then back to his friend, but he didn't respond. The warmth that spread over your body meant more than just your cheeks this time, but you said nothing and tried to hold in the smile that wanted to make an appearance on your face. Taking Aaron's silence as an answer, Flock shrugged and continued to talk.
Either may, it's like real cool. Like, just text me if you wanna come, bro.
Flock finished with a wave.
Yeah, man, I will. See you.
With that, Flock left, and Aaron turned to you. You shook your head, then pointed to the angry librarian across from the two of you in the hopes that Aaron would actually try to lower his voice when he spoke to you again. Dropping his head close to your shoulder again, Aaron let out a soft laugh. He refused to look at the librarian, and chose to look at you instead. When he met your gaze, he scrunched up his eyebrows in an adorable manner, making you giggle.
Sorry about that. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's very hard. Okay, wait, he actually whispered. Don't be. I didn't know you were staying in on Friday. That's unlike you. You jested quietly, poking his firm bicep. Oh yeah. With your index finger.
I know how to stay inside sometimes. Aaron shrugged, not giving in to your teasing. I mean, I was indoors when I met you. Doesn't that count?
You rolled your eyes over his cheeky, idiotic joke, which prompted him to laugh to himself again. There was something oddly charming about the way he carried himself, that you found yourself comfortable in his presence. From his dorky jokes to his self-assured swagger, mixed with his strange self-awareness, there was no denying that Aaron was a charmer. The more you studied him and his mannerisms, the more you realized that you liked it. And if you had to be honest with yourself, you had to say that you liked it a lot. What are you doing in the library anyway? You asked, leaning your head to the side.
Had to get a book, he shrugged.
So where is... Before you could finish your sentence, you heard another voice greeting Aaron. When you looked up, you recognized it to be the girl from the party, the one whose lap Aaron was lying on moments before you shared your 7 minutes together.
Okay, wait, I gotta lock in.
Yeah.
Should I do like different
Yeah.
Okay, ready. Hey, Krista, what's up? Aaron greeted kindly. Work that I can return a book. Are you going to Flock's party? Krista asked with anticipation in her
At Lock-in. Once again, you tune out the conversation to observe your surroundings. Only this time, you focus on everyone behind Krista. While they spoke with each other, you noted that a lot of the people who were coming and going from the library all took a moment to say hi to Aaron. It was odd, seeing how popular he was. But then again, you figured he had to have been from around the area along with most of the people who attended your college. You learned early in your freshman year that more than half of the students at Shiganshina? How do you say this? Someone say this! Belly!
Yeah, you said it right.
Okay, it's fine. University also all went to the same high school together, which wasn't even 30 minutes away from the campus. Briefly, you wondered if Aaron was just like this when he was in high school too. Then focused your attention back to the conversation before you.
I just dropped five.
You heard Krista chirp? When she left, she waved goodbye to the both of you, and Aaron gave you a shy grin again as he readied himself to apologize to you once more for the constant interruptions. Before he could even try to do that, the two of you heard kitten heels stomping across the carpeted floor, forcing you to look up again.
Oh, this is Ree. Erin gave the librarian a wide grin as she glowered, however you say that, down at the two of you, unimpressed.
Librarian.
Wait, am I the librarian again or what?
Yeah, you're the librarian, bro.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Mr. Jaeger, people out here are trying to study. If you want to continue to talk, I suggest going to into one of the study rooms with your girlfriend.
The librarian gritted out through pursed lips. Oh, I'm not his.
You're right. Sorry, ma'am. Won't happen again. Come on, beautiful. Let's go. Aaron laughed, reaching over to grab your book and bag with urgency.
He slung it over his shoulders before you could protest, then grabbed your hand so he could lead you towards one of the private study rooms. When the two of you walked in, the automatic lights flicked on and Aaron set your bag and notebook down gently onto the table, shutting the door behind him with a sigh. He said your name and scrunched his eyebrows at you again, like he did earlier when he was apologizing.
Oops, sorry. I'm really sorry about that. I don't even remember what we were talking about now. He ran his hand over the back of his hair.
You laughed as
Hello?
Sorry, guys. You laughed at his sincerity, then pulled out some chairs so you could both sit down. Patting the wooden seat beside you, you signaled to Aaron to come over, and he did with a smile plastered on his face. We were talking about my major.
Oh yeah, public health, right? Do you like it? He leaned forward onto the table and put his chin in his hand like an eager little kid, making you giggle at his enthusiasm.
I do. A lot, actually. You mirrored his actions and leaned forward onto the table yourself. Aaron seemed happy with your answer as he gave you another grin, then grabbed your notebook off the table. Aaron, what are you doing?
Tell me about it. Why do you like it? Aaron continued, ignoring your protests as he pulled a pen from his pocket and began searching for an empty page in your notebook.
You furrowed your brows in confusion as you tried to make sense of what was going on, but Aaron roused you away from your own mind with a gentle poke to your thigh.
Why did you decide to major in public health? He asked again as he started to doodle in your notebook, this time covering his work with one hand.
Why can't I see what you're drawing in my notebook? You quipped, trying to peek over his shoulder to get a better look.
Because it's a surprise. I'll let you see if you answer my question. Aaron said, practically giggling to himself as he maneuvered the notebook out of your view.
Sighing, you leaned back in your chair and studied Aaron, curious to know what exactly his intentions were. You watched as Aaron rocked back and forth in his chair, unable to keep his focus as he drew in the pages of your notebook, and wondered if he was always as energetic about things. You blew some hair out of your face and spoke. I wanted to major in public health because I want to help people, you answered. Aaron briefly paused in his doodling so he could shoot you a sweet grin. He seemed genuinely interested in the matter, and it was endearing to you.
How does that work? Sorry, I don't know anything about public health.
No, it's fine. How do I explain it? You know how doctors treat illnesses and injuries?
Yeah.
Well, public health focuses on prevention instead. We focus on wellness and safety and try to figure out how we can better society to keep people protected, like seatbelt laws and stuff. That's public health. Aaron momentarily set his pen down, then turned to you with a sincere, sweet look in his eyes.
Really cool. You sound like you love it.
I do! What's your major? You asked, trying to lean over his shoulder once more to get a peek, but with no luck. His arm covered up the drawing well enough, and it was honestly useless to even try. The longer you leaned over him, the more you could smell his scent. And there it was, the faintest hint of his musky vanilla cologne again. You felt your face warm once more when Aaron turned to face you, keeping his face inches away from yours. Always too close for comfort, but never more than necessary. His stare darted back and forth between your eyes and lips, and the involuntary lip bite you gave him drove Aaron crazier than you knew, but he found his composure quickly and answered you.
Don't have one. He leaned in, letting out a soft sigh. I'm undecided. Not surprising. I know.
You laughed lightly, once again intoxicated by the smell of mints emanating from his mouth. It was odd how the two of you were acting right now. You wondered if he was ever going to bring up the situation again, or if he also saw you as a one-time thing, and was just being friendly right now. You chewed on your lower lip, making Aaron's eyes flicker downwards to them once more. You had to change the subject. Why does your breath smell so minty, Aaron? You asked, looking back up at him again, trying to shake off the tingle that shot up your spine. When you asked him this, Aaron tossed his head back, letting out a hearty laugh. He put his pen back in his pocket, then closed your notebook.
Oh yeah, that. I ate a roll of Mentos when I was coming down from my high. Aaron ran his hand over the back of his head and stood up.
A loud giggle left your lips as you imagined a high Aaron alone in his bedroom, completely demolishing rolls of Mentos, one after the other. He was so odd. Why did you do that, weirdo? You asked, still giggling as you stood up with him. Aaron shrugged, then handed you your notebook, which you accepted. He stepped closer to you to close the gap between the two of you, then paused as he mulled over his words carefully.
"'Cause I like the taste," he said, slowly giving you a jab. Oh my gosh!
Oh my
Let me start over. "'Cause I like the taste," he said, slowly, giving you a lazy knowing grin. "See you around."
Aaron gave you a small wave, then exited the room, shutting the door with gentle close. You were left absolutely dumbfounded. There was no doubt in your mind that Aaron was being deliberate with his words, and he was doing a wordplay on the last thing he said to you after he consumed you out, rather than talking about his love for mints. Still confused, you flipped through the empty pages of your notebook so you could try to find the page Aaron drew in. When you got to it, you almost dropped the notebook to the floor out of shock. While you waxed and waned about your love for public health and questioned him about useless things, Aaron was busy drawing something much more important in your notebook. You thought he didn't care to bring up what happened between the two of you, but you couldn't have been more wrong. It took the entire page, and Aaron took his time to draw it despite it being a doodle, but it was as clear as day. On a single page, he had written down his number and even took his time to design up the words, "Call me." We got through it! We got through it!